mind control, time travel, and Nazi gold. That's just the tip of the iceberg and the granddaddy of all conspiracy theories, the Montauk Project. We asked Preston B. Nichols, author of the Montauk Project book series, to take us behind the scenes.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Preston B. Nichols, author of the Montauk Project. I'm a professional metaphysician and a professional consultant engineer in the electronics industry.
Preston B. Nichols is the man who blew the whistle on the weirdest conspiracy theory of all time, the Montauk Project.
We're in the Montauk Project investigation vehicle.
In his books and frequent lectures at UFO conferences, Nichols faces ridicule, and worse, to spread the word about the project he describes as beyond science fiction.
They'd turn the machine on. It would literally transport me back to 9 that morning and like superimpose me over me at 9 in the morning. I'd have the whole day to work over again. Of course, the first pass would become a whole different quantum reality.
This is Stuart Swerdlow, New Age healer and father of 6. When Stuart saw Preston Nichols lecture on the Montauk Project, his repressed memories of the project surfaced as well.
Understand a couple of things about the project. Since the late 1940s and early 50s, the government has had the capacity to what I call bend time or travel through dimensional aspects of time so that you can take someone at 12:01 from a particular location, they could spend weeks with you, and then you can return them at 12:01.1. So it looks like no time has passed.
The Montauk Project is alleged to have occurred on a decommissioned Air Force station on the northeasternmost tip of New York's Long Island in a sleepy fishing town known as Montauk Point. Here, in an underground bunker, a vast operation straight out of the X-Files was taking place.
I wouldn't say they were conventional military, they were kind of behind-the-scenes military. Okay. There were also alien groups involved there, and there were also individuals involved there who I, for lack of a better term, would say were involved in Nazi activity.
Meet Alexandra Bruce, former MTV producer and paranormal investigator. Her interest in the Montauk Project books led her to attend one of Preston Nichols' lectures.
When I started interviewing people who had claims of being involved in the project, they started telling me that I was involved in this or the other, sex projects, genetic engineering experiments, time travel experiments, mind control experiments, and but different people who didn't really have communication with each other were each telling me things that sometimes agreed with each other and sometimes did not agree.
But what exactly was the Montauk Project? A device called the Montauk Chair was used to focus the energies of a sexually aroused psychic who could create an interdimensional vortex that would allow for time travel and access to parallel dimensions.
It's almost like a dimensional doorway where gold and submarines and equipment, military equipment, can be shunted around between universes.
The goal of the project was to send military operatives back in time to alter key historical events. This would allow Montauk's Nazi overlords to hold the future captive and manipulate reality itself.
Because the project is nothing more and nothing less than high-tech black magic.
I was sent through the portal with a pistol, and my goal was to actually kill the Christ figure. And what happened was, when I saw him coming down the steps of the temple, I couldn't do it. I ran away. They sent me back when he was up on the cross, and my goal then was to extract vials of blood from his body, which I did do, and I did bring them back.
Was the idea to bring about a forced apocalypse?
Well, no, he was supposed to, they were going to take the blood, clone the blood, basically shoot up Duncan with, replace all his blood with the clone blood of Christ. Then he'd board a craft, fly from Mars to here, land, proclaim himself Christ, say that he's Christ returned. What would happen is the medical people would take a sample of his blood and compare it to a blood sample from the Shroud of Turin. And they say genetically it's the same.
If the tales of the Montauk Gang seem a little hard to follow, Perhaps the conspiracy conceals a far more simple truth.
I was interviewing a young man last year who also claims to have been part of the Antichrist Project, which is what it was known as. And he is a Satanist and very messed up, I believe, by a lot of multidimensional weirdness, including certain deprogramming work that was done on him by Preston, and I do have my problems with that whole scenario.
I have the ability through my empathic or empathy to literally be able to scan and look into a human being.
They involved masturbating young men with the help of, I think, certain radionic devices, and then questioning them, like inquisitioning them in that kind of a scenario.
Let me ask you this. If you have this ability, look at me and tell me what you see.
I can't just look at you. I literally have to feel your aura and your frequencies and scan in. I do it through hand scans. It has to be close on.
Stuart Swerdlow underwent these sexual deprogramming techniques employed by Preston, and he's personally told me that there are other and better ways to deprogram than this way.
And there's been a very small group of people who actually have gone through a series of deprogrammings, which I teach them how to do their own. I don't do it for them, and they have been helped greatly by it.
It did work, and it did get Stuart on the road to recovering his memories and his self, if you will, and his sanity. And he, to this day, maintains a degree of gratitude for having worked with Preston. You know, it's just, it's a little invasive, to say the least.
Hey guys, come on in. Take a look around. I'm Preston.
And I think it's really no big leap to concoct this whole thing as a very warped and twisted, closeted homosexual come-on. There's no doubt in my mind that it really can look like that very easily. He has no interest in doing it with me. I'll tell you that.